Sairam students, welcome to another literature class. And today's literature class we'll begin with a new lesson from your textbook First Flight. And the name of the lesson is The 100 Dresses, that is chapter number 5, written by L. Wasser Esther. This is a picture of the writer Eleanor Estes, born in 1906, and she passed away in the year 1988. She was an American children's author and librarian. Her book, Ginger Pie, won the New Fry Medal. Eleanor based the story The 100 Dresses on her real-life experience as a girl who received Peggy's hand-me-down dresses. So basically, this story is a real-life incident, which the writer herself has experienced. Now, before we proceed with the lesson, a small introduction about the Polish immigrants. The first Polish immigrants arrived in America in 1608. But the largest wave of Polish immigration occurred in early 20th century when more than 1 million Poles migrated to the United States of America. So basically, this migration of the people of Poland, it began somewhere in 1608. But the largest wave of Polish immigration which has occurred, this happened in the 20th century, wherein more than 1 million Poles or the Polish people migrated to United States. The Polish state did not exist at that time, and the immigrants were identified according to their country of origin rather than to ethnicity. They were identified as Russian Poles, German Poles, and Austrian Poles. At that time, Poland did not exist. So people were, basically they were identified on the basis of their country of origin. So they were identified as Russian Poles, people who belong to Russia, German Poles, people who belong to Germany, and Austrian Poles, people who belong to Austria. One of the most notable Polish American communities in Chicago is in Chicago and its suburbs. So Chicago is sometimes called the second largest Polish city in the world, next to Warsaw, the capital of Poland. So basically this place, Chicago, has many Polish immigrants who have resided there. That's the reason they are saying that Chicago is considered to be the second largest Polish city in the world, first being Warsaw, the capital of Poland. Polish Americans were sometimes discriminated against in the United States, as were the Irish, Italians, and Jews. So all these people who belonged, the people who belonged to Italy, then we had the Jewish people, they were discriminated in US. So were people from Poland as well. According to the United States 2000 census, 667,414 Americans of age 5 years and older reported Polish as a language spoken at home. So, close to 667,414 Americans, age group of 5 years and older, they reported Polish as the language that they spoke at home. Now this accounted to somewhere close to 1.4% of the people who spoke languages other than English. So English was a common language. Other than that, whichever language people spoke, in that 1.4% of the population spoke Polish, which again accounted to 0.25% of the US population. Basically, if you see, this story is it's a very sensitive account of how a poor young girl is judged by her classmates. I told you these people were discriminated. The people, basically who were immigrants, they were discriminated by the other natives. So one such girl was Wanda Petronsky, who is a young Polish girl who goes to school with other American children in an American town. These children see Wanda as different in many ways. Now, what are the different ways in which they find Wanda different? That we'll study in the lesson. But the other American children, they troubled Wanda Petronsky, she being a young Polish girl. So let's get started with the lesson, students. A gentle reminder to all of you to keep a book and a pen handy to jot down all the important points, all the important words, that I'll discuss when I'm teaching the lesson. Today, Monday, Wanda Petronsky was not in her seat. But nobody, not even Peggy and Madeline, the girls who started all the fun, noticed her absence. So this lesson will revolve around Wanda Petronsky. Okay, so this girl, Wanda Petronsky, she was not in her seat. So this is a scene of her school classroom. She is not in her seat, but nobody has noticed it, not even the girls who made fun of her. Who were those girls? Peggy and Madeline. Even they didn't notice. It went unnoticed. Usually, Wanda sat in the seat next to the last seat in the last row in room 13. So where did Wanda sit? She was in the last seat of the last row in room number 13. Room 13 is basically the classroom number. She sat in the corner of the room where the rough boys who did not make good marks sat. So, where did she sit? She sat in the corner where the rough boys sat. Now, who are these rough boys? Basically, they are the boys who were very, very naughty. Okay, and they didn't make good marks. They sat in one corner and they enjoyed their life. The corner of the room where there was most scuffling of the feet, most roars of laughter when anything funny was said, and most mud and dirt on the floor. So this particular corner witnessed many things. What was that? First was scuffling of feet. Now what is scuffling of feet? Basically noisy or dragging movements of the feet on the ground. So when there is a lot of noisy movement on the ground because of feet, that is called as scuffling. Most roars of laughter. Whenever there was a joke cracked, these boys used to laugh very loudly. And there was most mud and dust on the floor. Now why mud and dirt? Because basically all the children who sat over there, they walked down to school. So that's the reason. Along with them, they had a lot of mud on their feet. That's the reason that area was also covered with a lot of mud and dirt. Wanda did not sit there because she was rough and noisy. On the contrary, she was very quiet and rarely said anything at all. Now, Wanda, why did she sit there? Because she was noisy? No, not at all. Because she was naughty? Again, no. But on the contrary, she was very quiet and she rarely spoke anything. And nobody had ever heard her laugh out loud. Sometimes she twisted her mouth into a crooked sort of smile, but that was all. So nobody ever heard her, laughing out loudly, or even if she had to, she used to just make a very crooked smile. That was all. Okay. Nobody knew exactly why Wanda sat in that seat unless it was because she came all the way from Boggins Heights and her feet were usually caked with dry mud. So nobody knew the reason why Wanda Petronsky sat there. Why that particular last seat? When she was not noisy, when she was not naughty, then why that seat? Nobody knew the reason exactly why Wanda Petronsky sat there. Maybe one reason could be that she came all the way from Boggins Heights and her feet were usually caked with dry mud. So one reason could be that she was, coming all the way from Boggins Heights. Maybe that place was, occupied by all the immigrants, and she used to walk down with, she used to walk down to school. That's the reason her feet were usually caked with dry mud. Now, caked with dry mud is basically there were layers of mud. When she walked down, obviously her feet got dirty. They were covered with mud. But no one really thought much about Wanda Petronsky once she sat in the corner of the room. So once she came to a classroom and she settled down, nobody even bothered about Wanda Petronsky. The time when they thought about Wanda was outside of school hours at noon time, when they were coming back to school, or in the morning early before school began, when groups of 2 or 3 or even more would be talking and laughing on their way to the school yard. So when did they think about Wanda? Basically, it was before the school hours when the school actually began, or after the school hours when it got over. Nobody even bothered about Wanda once she settled in her seat. Then sometimes they waited for Wanda to have fun with her. Okay, there were days when they used to wait with Wanda so that they can have fun with her. Now, have fun with her doesn't mean that they used to enjoy with Wanda. They used to enjoy, that's right, but at the cost of Wanda. The next day, Tuesday, Wanda was not in school either. And nobody noticed her absence again. So, Monday she didn't turn up. Tuesday again she didn't turn up. And nobody even noticed her absence. But on Wednesday, Peggy and Maddie, who sat down in front with other children, who got good marks and who didn't track in a whole lot of mud, did notice that Wanda wasn't there. So Monday, Tuesday, nobody noticed. But on Wednesday, Peggy and Maddie, they did notice that this girl Wanda has not turned up to school again. And who are these girls? Basically, they were girls who sat in front, okay, who got good marks, and who didn't have whose feet were clean, which means they didn't walk down to school. Maybe they were financially better than Wanda. Peggy was the most popular girl in school. She was pretty, she had many pretty clothes, and her hair was curly. Maddie was her closest friend. So here we have a small description about Peggy and Maddie. Okay, Peggy was the most popular girl in school. She was very pretty. She wore pretty dresses. Her hair was curly, and her closest friend was Maddie. The reason Peggy and Maddie noticed Wanda's absence was because Wanda had made them late to school. Now, how did they come to know that Wanda didn't come? Because they were waiting for Wanda. Who were waiting? Peggy and Maddie. So they were waiting for Wanda, and just because they kept on waiting for Wanda, they were late to school. They had waited and waited for Wanda to have fun with her, and she just hadn't come. They often waited for Wanda Petronsky to have fun with her. So they just kept on waiting where this girl is, why she is not coming, so that they could enjoy with her. No, they were the girls who began, this teasing. They were the girls who actually began teasing Wanda Petronsky. So they used to enjoy. Before school began, they used to tease her. After school got over, they used to tease her. And that day also, on Wednesday also, they just kept on waiting for Wanda so that, she comes, they will enjoy themselves and then they will go and settle in the class. But the third day again, Wanda Petronsky did not turn up. And that is when these girls noticed that Wanda did not come to school. Wanda Petronsky. Most of the children in room 13 didn't have names like that. So, the children in that class found Wanda Petronsky's name little funny. They found it very different. And they're saying that, that particular room number 13 did not have children whose names were like that. They had names easy to say like Thomas, Smith or Alan. There were other children as well and their names were pretty easy. What were their names? Thomas, Smith or Alan. There was one boy named Bounce, Willie Bounce, and people thought that was funny, but not funny in the same way that Petronsky was. So, in that particular class, room number 13, there was one more boy whose name was, whose name was Willie Bounce. And people thought that, that was funny, but it was not as funny as Wanda Petronsky's name was. Wanda didn't have any friends. She came to school alone and went home alone. She always wore a faded blue dress that didn't hang right. So this girl, Wanda, she didn't have any friends. She used to come all alone. She used to go all alone. No friends who used to accompany her. She always wore a faded blue dress. So she used to have this one dress that she wore every day to school. And that was a blue color dress, which didn't hang right. Now what is didn't hang right over here? It means it did not fit her properly. It was maybe loose. It was clean, but it looked as though it had never been ironed properly. She didn't have any friends, but a lot of girls talked to her. Sometimes they surrounded her in the schoolyard as she stood watching the little girls play hopscotch on the worn hard ground. So this girl, she didn't have, her dress was clean, okay, but it looked as though it was not ironed properly. She didn't have any friends, but she spoke to a lot of girls. In fact, a lot of girls spoke to her. Sometimes they used to surround her in the schoolyard as she used to wait, she used to stand watching this game, hopscotch. Now what is hopscotch? Basically it's a game wherein children hop into small squares marked on the ground. So on the very first square, number 1 is written. Then they have 2 squares together adjacent to each other wherein number 2 and 3 is written. So it's a hopscotch game that they have. So when the other small girls used to play this hopscotch, Wanda used to stand close to them and see them play. And the other girls used to surround her and they used to talk to her. Wanda, Peggy would say in the most courteous manner as though she were talking to Miss Mason. Now this girl, Peggy, she used to talk very nicely, very politely as though she is talking to her class teacher. But there was this reason why she was talking so politely. Wanda, she would say, giving one of her friends a nudge, tell us, how many dresses did you say you had hanging up in your closet? So this girl Peggy, in a very kind and a very polite manner, as though she is talking to Miss Mason. Miss Mason happens to be her class teacher of room number 13. So she used to ask in a very polite manner. And what she used to ask? Before asking, she used to give a nudge. Nudge is a gentle push. When you try to make fun of others and when you want it to be noticed by someone standing close by, you give a gentle push to that particular person. So even Peggy did the same thing. She gave a nudge to one of her friend and then she popped a question. What was the question? How many dresses did you say you had hanging up in your closet? So she asked, how many dresses do you have in your cupboard, Wanda? What did you say? And then Wanda would say, what did she reply? Let us see. 100, Wanda would say. 100? exclaimed all the little girls incredulously, and the little ones would stop playing hopscotch and listen. So when this question was asked, Wanda would answer 100. And the girls playing close by, they used to exclaim, all of them used to exclaim together, incredulously. Incredulously means, you're showing unwillingness to believe something. 100? They used to ask in such a way that it showed that, they are not ready to believe that Wanda Petronsky had 100 dresses. And they used to stop playing hopscotch and listen to what these girls were talking. Yea, 100 all lined up, said Wanda. Then her thin lips drew together in silence. What are they like? All silk, I bet, said Peggy. Yea, all silk, all colors. Velvet too? Yea, velvet too. 100 dresses, Wanda. So, she used to say, all 100 dresses are lined up. And then she used to keep quiet. She used to be quiet for a moment. And then Peggy asked another question. What are they like? I mean, what material? What are they like means what material? So all silk, all expensive clothes, right? I bet, I challenge you, I'm very sure, I'm very confident. All your dresses will be, the material used would be silk. So Peggy used to say this. And Wanda would reply, yes, all silk and all different colors. The 100 dresses that I have, basically all dresses are, the material is very good. And all different colors I have for my dresses. Velvet too. So Peggy popped another question. So you must be having velvet material dresses as well? And Wanda used to say, yes, my closet has a velvet dress as well. So students, we will stop here for today. And the remaining part of the lesson we will continue in our next class. So what we have seen is basically the story about a girl, Wanda Petronsky, who is very quiet, who is very silent. But then the other children enjoy at the cost of Wanda Petronsky. She happens to be a poor girl. She's a Polish immigrant, and she is teased by the other American children in the same school. So we'll stop here for today. Meet next. You will take care of yourselves. Sai Ram and bye-bye.